Hey, how you doing? I'm Joe with the Pathfinders here in the Flint Hills, and what we're going to talk about today is sustainable fire, proper bird's nest, and platform into a fire lay. Okay. So with that, first you got to get out there and you got to find the resources. You need to know what you're looking for. Okay. Your tinder is going to be pencil lead in size. Okay. Your kindling is going to be pinky size, or pencil size, something like that, something that snaps. Okay. And then of course your fuel is going to be thumb size, a little bit bigger. Okay. And you see I have various sizes. Some are a little bit bigger in this pile than tinder size, but it'll work. Okay. Now also, when you're out there looking for this stuff, you want to make sure you're going to find a lot of it on the ground, but there's also going to be a lot of moisture in that ground. So if you can find it hanging in the trees and stuff like that, that's where you want to get it from. Now this here, the amount that you're going to need, this might be 15 minutes worth of good fire, good hot coals. Okay, so the rule is, or a rule to think of, and what I tell the youth that I teach is, if you're going to have fire and you want to sustain it all night, try and get a big pile that'll go all the way up to your knees, especially in the fuel size. Okay, once you get that fire going, you're going to want to keep it going throughout the night. Okay, so on that, we're going to talk about the proper construction of a bird's nest. Okay, now you can use the jute twine and sit there and untangle it and twist it out, and that's fine. And anything that you do, you want to take your time, because if you rush fire, you're going to have a harder time getting the fire going than if you just take your time to prep it. Okay, so as you can see here, I got just some dry grass here. Okay, and I'm working, as you see, on an army poncho I got. So you don't want to be working on the ground, but so when you're doing it like a bird's nest, you got to think about it like fine, medium, and coarse. Okay, so if I'm looking for those types of things, this would be my coarse, right? So I would just try and get this dead grass going here, make a nice little hole here, and you could tie it off down here if you want. Okay, and then like I said, we're here to where we like to camp all the time. We call it Cedar Tree Hill, but I have the inner barkings, okay, of the cedar. So if you pull, get this part back from the cedar tree, the bark here, but what you want is the really fibrous stuff and then you can just sit here and break it down to like I've broken it here. Okay, so that's going to be that's what you want to go on the inside here. Okay, you want that to go on the inside. And there's nothing wrong with using some of this bark in there. You can see I'm just getting this fibers really, really gone to make them my little fine. Okay, really fine there. Here's another good piece on the inside. Look at that, really fibrous. This is what you want when you go into those cedar trees. Something dry, and take your time. Create more surface areas. What you're doing. Okay. These are a little bit thicker than I want. So, bring them through your hands. See that? Get them through your hands. Look at that. Look at that. So now you're getting a little bit more finer. Okay, and that's even some of that's going to be really good from your fine, medium, and coarse. Okay, so get some of this bark here. Again, this is the inner part of the bark. You just want to get it really fibrous so it'll take a good spark. Okay, we'll put all that in there. Okay, now ideally, when you're doing this, you got your coarse. You can see in here, if you look in here, some of that bark is finer material, or I'm sorry, medium material, medium from this, and then you want to get some really, really fine, and put that on the really inside of your bird's nest there. So you see how, rubbing that out helps, but it doesn't go a very long way either. Okay, so most of this bark, the rest of this stuff is bark, so you want to catch it and get a lot of that if you can. This one here will work. Okay, so we're getting our bird's nest ready here. See that? Just keep rolling it in my hands. Because you want this really, and you're going to get some of that outer bark to come off of it. And if some of it stays, that's fine too, but see how much finer that is? So you want to get that in there too, okay? Now we're going to use this fire pit here, but we want to create us a lay, okay? And you don't want this platform that we're going to create first, you don't want this platform to be close to each other. You won't be able to get a little bit of oxygen in there, okay? We'll get maybe one in there. Okay. All right. Okay. So now, what you want to do is, you can do, a TP or a lean-to. It's whatever you want. Okay. Lean-to. You can stick that stick in there, and then just start leaning it up, okay, with some of your, let's find something smaller here. Try to use as less amount of movement that you need so you can save your calories and stuff, okay? So then we can just take some of this fuel around here and just line this up with our, I said fuel, but I meant kindling. Okay, so we're going to use some of this kindling around here. Make our lean-to. It's okay, it ain't going to be pretty. You really don't want it pretty, you just want it to work. Okay. And like I said, you're trying to have a fire all night, or if you're trying to cook, a pretty big meal or whatever, you're going to want to go out and get more of this size of material that I have here. Okay. I got the wind coming out because this is Kansas and it likes to stay windy. So now you want to put some of the bigger sticks around here, hoping you don't cave in on your lean-to. Okay? But you got some that are just really particular how they set it up. As long as you got the right materials and you get it going, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, is just getting warm. Or getting a meal in you, or if it's cold, some pine needle tea. Okay, so back to my bird's nest, keeping this off the ground. See, I got a built up platform over there. Okay, now find my little fire tin here, get me some char cloth out of here. Now what I'm going to do is get me some char cloth in there. So don't need much. Switch that one out, okay? Don't need much. So the goal is to get a ember or a cherry on there, depending on how you want to call it. And I'm just going to use my ferro rod. Okay. Now once I get this started, the good thing is it's windy. Okay. Now I'm going to bring it up if I can and try and use the wind to help me get this going. I like to use a hacksaw blade. I don't want to get a little ember in my. There we go. There you go. You see what the problem was? I had it too far down in there. You can see it smoking now. Rookie mistake. So I want to gently close it. And I don't want to blow too much on it. I want to let the oxygen, look at that wind helping. You know, let it build up its heat source around there. Okay. Fold it in a little bit more. When I start to see a little bit more smoke, that's when I want to give it a little bit more constant blowing. But I don't want to blow it out either. You can feel, I can feel it. It's all heating up down here. You see it's going. So now you want to turn it up on its side and get it down in there. Okay. And if you got to feed it from here, you can just still feed it, but you shouldn't really have to, because it should be going pretty good. Get all these ones off from a previous one set up. So, and there's nothing wrong with enclosing your teepee or your lean-to and making a teepee net. Okay? Lean-to is, once that first one that we put in there catches, it'll fall down and make itself go, everything come on top of it once it burns through. See, you can see over here it's starting to catch really good. Now that you got yourself a sustainable fire, you just got to keep feeding it slowly if it needs it. But now you have a simple, pretty easy fire. Sustainable. You see, just to get it going, I went through a lot of my kindling, but that's okay. As long as my fuel starts catching, and it's putting out some good heat. I got plenty of fuel there, and you see I got a lot more fuel here. Now I can just keep using and throwing on there. And look at those flames going now. Okay. All right. So I just showed you a fire base, a proper bird's nest, and a sustainable fire. Thanks for watching.